All right. All right, you put your balance, fellas. Yeah, just like that. God damn. Just like that. Yeah, just like that. God damn. Just like that.
Gervonta Davis committed to returning to training just a week following his bout with Lamont Roach. True to his word, the WBA lightweight champion is now in his third week of training camp. What sets this week apart is his decision to step into the spotlight. After keeping a low profile and focusing on his training in previous weeks, Davis has chosen to engage with the media and give interviews.
God damn.
After finishing a few rounds of sparring, Gervonta Davis was asked about his decision to cut down on rest time, especially considering how active Lamont Roach has been with interviews and meetings. Davis explained that he felt the need to prove something to the boxing world, emphasizing that his rest would come only after achieving that goal. According to Davis, his fight with Lamont Roach served as a wake-up call, highlighting personal distractions and challenges. The reason he returned to training so soon was to overcome those obstacles and conquer himself.
Yeah, that's it. Thanks.
I have to discipline myself and maintain more control, Davis said. This rematch is all that matters to me, and I won't take it easy until I handle it properly. He found it interesting how Lamont Roach had been busy with interviews and media appearances since their fight on March 1st. However, Davis made it clear that he wasn't concerned with Roach's activities. "I really don't care. That's none of my business. He can do whatever he wants. But it could be risky for Roach if he gained respect by giving me a tough challenge, only to underperform in the rematch."
And it go far, it's just like that. So that's how I feel when you actually hit somebody on the butt and you know that you catch them real good. So that's how I feel for me.
Tank wasn't concerned about Roach's level of preparation, confidently stating that he would put him to bed and end his career in their upcoming rematch. After an emotional interview in which Tank shared his plans for the fight, he shifted his focus back to training, engaging in body exercises, stretches, and push-ups. Throughout his career, the lightweight champion has faced boos from the crowd, and to avoid a repeat of the disappointment in his last fight, where he was booed for failing to meet expectations, particularly after the unusual incident in the 9th round, Tank has ramped up his training intensity to the next level. After completing his body exercises, the world champion moved on to the mitts and punching bag, testing his punch power. He then engaged in some sparring with an unidentified partner before taking a brief break. However, he quickly turned to his coach, Cameron, and said, "No break until I break him down." According to a trusted news outlet, Gervonta Davis is already focusing on his fitness and is nearly in peak condition for his rematch with Lamont Roach. This marks the beginning of his journey toward a comeback, a goal that promoter Leonard Ellaby acknowledged in a conversation on the Plaza Laboratory show. Leonard Ellaby expressed his understanding of everything Tank has been going through. He pointed out that having children changes a person's life entirely, and believes that Tank now views things much differently than he did 6 or 7 years ago. Referring to Tank's recent comments about shunning retirement, Ellaby said, "We've all heard it." He emphasized that life is about more than just what you do for a living. While respecting the fans who pay to watch you fight, Ellaby pointed out that boxers also have lives outside of the sport. Fans may want you to continue, but often disregard the toll it takes on your health in the long run. Ellaby went on to describe boxing as a brutal sport, one in which many past fighters have been exploited and face severe health issues.
Freeze mode, let's go.
Many fighters have gone through significant health problems, some of them permanent. Ellaby continued. There's this philosophy that you get into the sport, leave your mark, and then walk away. He acknowledged that everyone has their own perspective and different life goals, adding that Tank's path may be unique to him, shaped by his personal journey and aspirations.
What time is nothing else? Come on, time is nothing else. I'm gonna touch him up. Something nice. Something nice. Touch him up, something nice. Touch him up, something nice. Always supposed to be.
One of the main reasons Gervonta Davis has resumed training so early for the rematch is his disappointment with his performance in the first fight. He's previously spoken about his greatest fear, and the WBA lightweight champion is determined that if he doesn't adjust his preparation, those fears will become a reality. Davis has admitted that his biggest fear is embarrassment, saying, "I'm not trying to go out and get my butt kicked." This helps explain why he fights the way he does. Despite being known for his heavy punches, he often takes a more cautious approach in the early rounds, focusing on staying alive and surviving. This mindset makes sense when considering his tough upbringing. Although creating a training montage may not be difficult, especially given the hype around fighters like Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, Davis' training footage reflects his dedication and drive. He offered a slightly different perspective on his biggest fear, emphasizing that avoiding embarrassment is his primary motivation. Kieran Mulvaney from Boxing Scene has frequently mentioned on various podcast episodes that fighters can't stand being ridiculed. It seems Tank is no exception, as he strives to avoid that humiliation by putting in serious work. "You become this meme," Davis said, laughing as he referenced another popular meme. "I ain't got time for that." Meanwhile, Roach is initially introduced to viewers with his eagerness for big fights, stating that facing Davis was an immediate yes for him. He's shown as laid back and easygoing, particularly in contrast to Tank, who's more intense and focused during his training camp. We spend more time with Roach during his training in Plant City, Florida, where he confidently states that he plans to beat Gervonta Davis mercilessly, adding a chuckle to his remark. How much he truly believes that only Roach knows. One thing's clear, Roach can cook in the ring. He seems relaxed in camp, which is no surprise considering he's a seasoned fighter. Like Tank, Roach has navigated the ups and downs of the sport, both in and out of the ring. He's a wild card, Roach says of Tank, referencing last month's rumors that the fight was off. Was Tank using his power to secure a bigger guaranteed purse? That's certainly a plausible guess.
He gonna be a damn fool. He trying to watch me the first half of the fight. He gonna be down, and then next thing you know, the last bell gonna ring. They gonna be like, ding, 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 winner, Lamont Roach.
Okay, but while people is watching your technique, say you don't get him down and he measures your technique. I'm just saying, this is what I see.
Aside from being a rematch, this is a unique matchup when you consider that both fighters are world champions, though they compete in different weight classes. Because of this, despite their championship status, the fight won't be for a unified world title. However, like in the first match, Lamont Roach brings something that many of Gervonta Davis' recent opponents have lacked: his size. Davis is accustomed to fighting bigger opponents who, in pursuit of a title shot and a big payday, often get weight drained ahead of the fight, resulting in subpar performances. Lamont Roach, however, is moving up in weight to the 135 pounds lightweight division for the second time, where Davis currently competes. This means Roach is expected to look in better shape on fight night compared to recent opponents like Frank Martin and Ryan Garcia, who appeared to be on a rehydration clause when facing Davis. This added factor could make the rematch play out differently than the first encounter.
Not really trying to get in his personal business. Probably just showing him that, you know, I could do anything, especially in your backyard.
Despite the pressure, Davis is preparing seriously in the gym for his upcoming challenge, even more so than he did for his first fight with Lamont Roach. The reason behind this increased intensity is clear. The two fighters share a deep history. Their match on March 1st has now become a significant chapter in that story, but there's also history that predates it. If there's anyone who will test both Davis' skills and his mental toughness, it's Lamont Roach. Just as Davis made a surprising revelation about himself, admitting that his biggest fear is being embarrassed and ridiculed by boxing fans, similar to the mockery his previous opponent faced after being knocked out by Davis months ago. This rematch holds even more weight for him.
Your house, where it goes up, come down, my nigga.
Just covering the event.
There. Come on, quick. Drop those hips. Nice. Come on. Give me that explosion. Rip.
In slow-motion footage, his face was distorted by Gervonta Davis' punch, with his lips and cheeks flying out of place before he collapsed to the ground, remaining there until the referee's count ended. Tank fears experiencing such a scenario, which is why he's giving his all in training to avoid it. Lamont Roach has promised to teach Davis a lesson, while Davis, in turn, has vowed to break him down in the rematch.
Imagine the life of a boxer, an existence honed by meticulous preparations.
And they are in talk.
Right now, Roach's name is ringing bells because he fought a draw with Tank. So it would be the right thing to do to call his name. You know? I just don't see Shakur taking chances with Roach.
When Gervonta Davis selected Lamont Roach Jr. as his opponent last year, few expected the fight to end in a controversial majority draw, which sparked division among boxing fans. Roach pushed Davis to the edge on March 1st in New York, with the 9th round becoming a major point of discussion. After landing a combination, Davis took a knee, hurried to his corner, and had Coach Calvin Ford wipe his face before resuming the fight. Referee Steve Willis began a 10 count, but stopped it when Davis continued, meaning no official knockdown was recorded. This decision ignited debate, as similar situations usually lead to a knockdown ruling.
That ain't the reality of the sport. You're going to get hit. Somewhere you're going to get hit. You know?
When you look at that matchup, is it entertaining, or does Shakur make the entertainment less due to, you know, the styles with Roach and
yeah, he'll make it less entertainment because of his style. You know, Roach coming to fight. We just seen
Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach have developed a heated rivalry that now extends beyond the ring, especially after their March 1st fight, which ended in a controversial majority draw, much to Roach's frustration. While their punches were thrown in the ring that night, they've since taken to social media to continue their verbal exchanges, and things are heating up. The platform formerly known as Twitter, now X, has become a battleground, filled with virtual blows and insults as these two continue to take jabs at each other online. The rivalry intensified even further when the two fighters took to an Instagram live session, where the tension reached such a boiling point that they both found themselves promising each other a rematch. This came after Lamont Roach received some surprising news from the New York State Athletic Commission.
I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna do me regardless. I told him to leave his mom and, the people home, and he still brought them. It's crazy, man. It's gonna get bad.
It's gonna get bad, man. But, you know, it's all love.
The New York State Athletic Commission has issued its final verdict regarding the knockdown controversy that surrounded Gervonta Davis's majority draw with Lamont Roach on March 1st. Davis successfully retained his WBA lightweight title at the Barclays Center in New York, with the fight concluding in a majority draw. Two judges scored the bout 114 to 114, while another had it 115 to 113 in favor of Davis. In the ninth round, Davis took a knee after a flurry of punches from Roach.
Say, why not? What you talking about? They like, they ain't gonna give it to you. I said, oh, is that right? So, you know, that's how boxing work. It's sad to say, you know, that's how boxing work. I'm not like totally upset. I figured with a superstar.
Although referee Steve Willis began the count, he halted it after reaching 3 when Davis went to his corner, claiming something was in his eye. After stopping the count, Willis allowed Davis to have his eye cleaned before restarting the fight. Fans were left frustrated with the officiating, especially since Roach would have won the fight had a knockdown been called. As reported by ESPN, the New York State Athletic Commission upheld the result, which ended in a majority draw. The commission's ruling stated that, following an extensive review of the footage from the ninth round, the most appropriate call would have been for the referee to rule that Davis's knee touching the canvas should have been considered a knockdown.
I damn sure thought I had it. Especially when they announced the score for him. I was like, oh, they gonna give me a split decision win. I was like, oh, yeah.
However, the determination of whether a knockdown occurred in that instance was at the discretion and authority of the referee. The commission also stated that if a knockdown had been called, it would have been impossible to predict how the final 3 rounds would have played out. The New York State Athletic Commission claimed that instant replay technology was not functional during the fight. After the bout, Davis explained that he took a knee because grease from a hair treatment had burned his eyes.
But as soon as I heard that 114, I was just like, damn, all right, it's over with. So, yeah, man, it's just crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Like, it's okay. We gonna run it back. It's okay.
The boxing world expected fireworks when Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. stepped into the ring. But no one anticipated the controversy that would follow after the WBA super featherweight title bout ended in a disputed draw. Roach's team appealed to the New York State Athletic Commission, hoping for an overturned decision. However, despite acknowledging a referee's mistake in the ninth round, the commission ruled that the draw would stand. Clearly frustrated by the outcome, Roach Jr. is determined to settle the score by getting Davis back in the ring. But how soon will that happen? According to his promoter, the fight is nearly a done deal, although a few final steps remain.
In my view, that I have to come with it all. I have to do more. Obviously, just to secure the win is doing just enough to get a draw. So I have to push harder. I have to train harder. I have to be more mean. I have to be more physical. I have to do a lot. I have to do everything just a little more. And I think that will definitely put me over the hump. And I'm more than motivated to get back in there, get back in the camp, and work hard so I can secure a victory over a pound for pound fighter.
In a recent interview with Pro Box TV, Roach promoter Gary Jonas provided fans with an optimistic update. A clip shared by Thrill Boxing on Instagram quoted Jonas as saying the rematch is very close and, in his mind, essentially a done deal. However, he acknowledged that some formalities still need to be finalized before anything becomes official. Jonas also hinted that Gervonta Davis may enter the ring a new and improved version of himself. The Baltimore-born fighter, who has been teasing retirement, could return sharper and more aggressive than ever. Is probably going to be angry, probably more awake, probably more focused than he has been, Jonas stated.
That I am myself.
Gary, when you look at the result of this, do you think there's need to be systemic changes in boxing where someone can say, as Jackery's told us when we broke this down and got his opinions about all this, he goes, well, it's referee's discretion. It's referee's. We heard that over and over and over again. And
while Davis has remained tight-lipped about the details, Roach Jr. has been outspoken about his desire for revenge. Frustrated by how the first fight unfolded, he recently took to social media to push for the rematch, even going as far as betting $250,000 on the outcome, with Davis reportedly aiming to settle the score by the end of May. Anticipation is at an all-time high. The big question now is whether the champion will correct his past mistakes or deliver another performance that will make the boxing world believe he's truly done, a sentiment many already share. That's all for now. For the latest updates on news, moments, events, and action in the boxing world, stay connected by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications to be the first to know when we drop quality content like this. Until next time, peace out.